President-elect Donald Trump taking to Twitter again. We have this breaking news. He's getting ready for tomorrow, and he just tweeted this moments ago. Getting ready to leave for Washington, D.C. The journey begins, and I will be working and fighting very hard to make it a great journey for the American people. I have no doubt that we will, together, make America great again. I want to bring in right now former Mississippi Governor and RNC Chairman Haley Barbour. Governor, great to see you.
Thank you, Maria. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. An historic day tomorrow. What are you expecting?
Well, it is. I heard him say this is the last day of the Obama administration. I'm waiting for the last minute of the Obama administration.
And why do you feel that it is going to be a new day? Obviously, the policies are very different. Donald Trump talked about tax reform during the campaign, talked about rolling back regulations, and really undoing a lot of his executive orders. But characterize for us why you think the Trump administration is going to be so different than what we've seen in the last 8 years.
Well, first of all, we have seen in this administration the weakest economic growth since World War II, since the Great Depression.
I don't think any other president has ever had economic growth below 3% for the entire
The last president who had economic growth below 3% was Herbert Hoover,
okay,
to name a name that the Democrats used to like to talk about a lot. Well, Obama's economic growth of 2% a year for 8 years is the first president since Hoover who never had at least 1 year over 3. And since World War II, average economic growth averaged 3.1. In the Reagan administration, after the last deep recession, economic growth averaged 4.5%. Think of where our country would be if the economy had grown twice as fast. That's where we were under Reagan. That's what people expected here. We've had low growth. We've had more government. We've had the national debt has doubled from $10 trillion to $20 trillion in just 8 years. It took us 230 years to get the first $10 trillion. Obama got us 10 more in just 8 years.
Wow.
So I think Trump will be very different. He's dedicated to growth, to more jobs, higher paying jobs, and he understands that bigger government makes it harder to grow the economy.
You know, my sense is that, and based on even this Hill report that Dagan just referenced, we're going to see a lot of bold changes. I don't think this is somebody coming into Washington who wants to play by the established rules here, who's going to just tinker on the margins of some reform here and there. My sense is he wants to do big things. Is he going to be able to get that done, in your opinion, sir?
Well, look, Washington's hard to change. There have been a lot of people. I had the privilege of working in the White House with Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan changed Washington in many ways. But Donald Trump is going to try to change Washington far more, because that's what the American people are demanding. Let's don't kid ourselves. This was a change election where the, quote, favorite got beat because the American people wanted change.
Yeah, but you know what? The Democrats don't believe it. I mean, 60-plus Dems are boycotting the inauguration. How do you feel about that?
Be more seats for the people who want to be there.
Yeah. Okay.
Good way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats, I think right now, they just can't help themselves. They're saying like they haven't gotten to acceptance yet. I think that, too, the way that they're obstructing all of the cabinet picks is really upsetting. And so one of the things that we're not talking about is how many pragmatists he has on the cabinet, people with a real practical experience to get things done. Who are you most excited about?
Well, I think today's announcement of Sonny Perdue as Secretary of Agriculture. Here is a man who is a veterinarian, served 8 years very successfully as governor of Georgia, has started 3 different agribusiness companies in his career. He really understands agriculture. He comes from agriculture. He also understands how to run a big agency. The state of Georgia is a big state.
Yeah. You know, for the first time in a long time, we're actually going to see a distinct, different approach with business people in charge of government agencies, taking the bureaucracy out and running things more like a business. It's interesting to see, because for so many years, the other side has been saying, that won't work. That's trickle-down economics that won't work. What did Hillary Clinton call it on the campaign trail? Trumped up. Trickle down.
That's right.
Well, look, it isn't easy to change government, you know, and I hope people sitting here won't think that next week you're going to see a difference. Next year, you will have seen a difference.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Lee brought the Democrats up who are still unable to accept the results of this election. And, sir, no one knows the city, or few know the city as well as you do. Did President Obama in 8 years leave a more civil tone, in your opinion, or has the mood and attitude of those here become more corrosive?
President Obama has been the most divisive president, and our country is more polarized. I've never heard the party that lost the election at an inauguration say, we are the resistance. But you have Democrat members of Congress who use that term. We are the resistance.
Yeah, and you see it in the confirmation hearings. I mean, they are just, even when it's, I mean, they're just trying to batter everybody significantly.
Because we are divided, and that polarization is much, much, much worse than it was 8 years ago.
Will he be able to make all these cuts? There's a report on the Hill today that he wants to cut funding significantly for the Commerce Department, cut funding for a number of agencies, which of course he promised. He wants smaller government. But how will that play out?
We'll have to fight for it. But and the big problem is the Senate. It takes, people forget, Republicans have majorities in both houses, but it takes 60 votes to pass anything in the Senate. Ask Joe Manchin. He's one of the Democrats that probably wants to be cooperative and make things good happen for America.
Right.
But it takes 60, and the Republicans have 52.
All right. Joe Manchin coming up this morning in the program. Governor, good to see you.
Great, Marie.
Thank you so much. Governor Haley Barbour there.